Oh, it's hard to believe we're here. I remember when I was on another board before NCRA, made up of a group of firm owners from around the country, my mother was bragging about me and my presence to someone, as you know, our mothers can do so well. And she said, "Oh, Doug, you're the head of the whole Court Reporters National Association, aren't you?" Well, I explained the difference between this firm owners group and the National Court Reporters Association. And then I actually said, "Oh, Mom, I'd never want to be president of that. It's all so political." Well, I guess I changed, and many years later, here we are. And this is a big week for NCRA. With Las Vegas as our backdrop, our theme for this convention is Bright Lights, Big Future, continuing our focus on writing our future. NCRA's year-long initiative that has allowed you, the members, to lead the discussion, an initiative that literally will allow us together collectively to write our future. Does NCRA need to change? Has the world changed around our association? Are we in danger of becoming an anachronism, as our detractors say? Now, I don't want to get too far in front of ourselves before Saturday's Writing Our Future session. The conversation is still going on, but I can say this much is settled. Thousands of members have spoken, the board has listened, and NCRA will remain unequivocally, unapologetically, and proudly an organization that promotes and serves only the stenographic court reporter. Now, that does nothing to change the fact that we have challenges that we must face together. Your Writing Our Future responses acknowledge that change is coming, and that, as a Stenographic Court Reporting Association, we must prepare for that change. How do we prepare for change? What can we do to ensure we have a big future? One thing we can control is our attitude. Best-selling American author Jim Rohn writes, "Attitude determines how much of the future we are allowed to see. It decides the size of our dreams and influences our determination when we are faced with new challenges. No other person on earth has dominion over our attitude." Do we view our individual futures, as well as the futures of NCRA and the court reporting profession, with anticipation or paralyzing fear? And hey, healthy fear can be a good thing. There are times when we are threatened by true danger, and we must respect our fear. But fear can also stymie us, can turn our stomachs, can cause us to break out in a cold sweat, and can prevent us from achieving our own big future. We all dread the unknown. We look at the future and ask ourselves, what if? What if we make a mistake? What if it's worse than what I have now? What if everything we do fails? We worry about losing what we have, but more frightening in our discussions has been losing the fundamental aspects of our identity as court reporters, our deepest values, convictions, and traits, the essence of who we are. Again, NCRA's focus will be on setting the highest standards for stenographic court reporters, but that doesn't mean we can do that in a vacuum. We must always be vigilant, looking around to see where and how we can sharpen our skills, where we can lead the legal community to a higher standard of service to society, and how we can, together, strengthen our profession. The set of priorities that are likely to come out of the Writing Our Future discussion will require a great deal of resources, thought, and energy. The future is going to challenge us. The future is going to question our identities as stenographic court reporters. And the future is going to require that we adapt our thinking to always be looking even further out to anticipate the needs of our clients and bring ever more value to how we conduct business. But we'll face this future together. The French poet, journalist, and novelist Anatole France wrote, "All changes, even the most longed for, have their melancholy, for what we leave behind us is a part of ourselves." 7 years ago, I decided I had to change my life. Was I scared? Oh, you bet. But I knew I was on a downhill slide. My dad had been saying to me for years, "Doug, what is wrong with you? You aren't happy." I had great children, was successful in my career, had a nice house, always had a nice car. But he was right. You know, speaking of my family, let me introduce them. I'm so pleased to have my brother Stu here with my sister Roxanne, along with my sister Brenda. We had hoped to have our father with us, but he passed this last January at the age of 92 to join our mother, the love of his life for more than 60 years. I am also honored to have all three of my children here today: Sarah, Laura, and Ryan. Well, getting back to the story, 7 years ago, I made some tough decisions. At the time, I weighed 100 pounds more than I do today. I had blood pressure issues, cholesterol and triglyceride numbers that were off the charts. I had been taking Prozac for 10 years. I am firmly convinced that had I not made changes in my life, I would not be here today. I knew that changing my life would mean loss, that my decisions would affect more than just me. I knew I would be the subject of disdain from some people as I came out of the closet. I knew it would mean that I could lose people in my life that I had counted on, sometimes for decades, as friends, that I could lose family support. But I also knew life could not continue as it was and me survive. No one could take control of my future except me, and no one can take control of your big future except you. You determine how technologically advanced you are. You control whether you continue to improve your skills or settle for the bare minimum. Just because your state only requires 200 or 225 words per minute or has no certification requirement at all doesn't mean we can be complacent. NCRA